everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Brianna. This is Coffee Books and Bullet Journal. Today I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about how I annotate my books. Okay, so I have watched multiple videos about how different people annotate their books, and every single person does it differently. So me saying that this is how you should do it is absolutely unacceptable, so that's not what I'm going to say. I'm just going to kind of put out my way of doing things, and you can take it as you want. You can take parts of it. You can take none of it. You can go watch other people's. Feel free. I'm just telling you how I'm doing it. So, I don't annotate a lot. In fact, when I say I annotate, I never write in my books. Very, very rarely. There are some arcs that I will write in, and they'll always be in pencil. But I don't normally, write in the books. I use my book bullet journal, which I've talked about how I use this and how I do notes and stuff in there. But that's kind of where I put my notes. And then my annotations are, let me show you one that has a bunch of them, are just like tabs. So I guess I tab my books. I don't annotate them. So this is my annotating key in my book bullet journal. So I have different colors. Every single book I do is this. Now, it wasn't like that at the beginning. I did change things up, but this is how I've been doing it this year. And so there's that. So we have quotes, which is yellow, characters, which is orange, world building or setting, and then plot or foreshadowing, romance. This is something positive. So whether could be something positive in the plot, or I liked something, or it was just how it was written. Same thing with this. So negative, something that I didn't like that a character did, or something in the writing style that I didn't agree with. And then the last one down here, which is this light blue, is a content warning. That way, when I'm going back and writing my review, if I didn't catch it and I didn't write it down, I can just flip to those light blue colored and then write down the trigger warning. So, there's that. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about why I annotate, what I annotate, and then I'll just kind of show you. So the first book that I ever annotated was The Immortalist by Chloe Benjamin. This was a group book for the Literary Alliance, and this was the very first group book that I was kind of in charge of. And so I wanted to make sure that I was annotating some things that I kind of wanted to talk about. So not all of this is technically the same that I do now, because this was last year. This was kind of things where I would be able to tab, oh, this would be a good talking point. Let's talk about this. Let's discuss this in our chat. So that's why I annotated this. After this book, I realized I needed some sort of a system. So that's when I started doing the actual key and what I was doing. Now, for this one at least, and this will stay in the book forever, I had a Post-it note. And so at least then I kind of know what each tab means. There were a couple of books that I did that I kind of started annotating. I didn't end up finished annotating. What I was trying to do was anytime I reread a book, I wanted to annotate it because I kind of already knew what was happening in the plot. So annotating it wasn't going to necessarily take away from the story per se. And then it kind of coincided with doing live streams. So the next one would have been The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. So this was a reread for me because I participated in Rachel Marie's live stream for this. So I did a ton of annotations. And this does follow the same system that I've been using now for this year. This is kind of the one that kind of designed that, I guess. And I absolutely love the way that looks. Even though this is a really ugly paperback copy, it's not in great condition. I think I got this at a thrift store or something like that. I love it for these annotations, and I'll never unhaul this book. I do want to get a hard copy of this book just so that it's can sit on my shelf and be pretty. Because I don't want to display this book necessarily because it's ugly as far as there's a huge tear in it. But I love these annotations. And this tells me that if I wanted to go back and look at quotes, I can just flip to that yellow tab. There's a quote right there. One thing I kind of forgot to talk about was what I use to annotate, and that I will I religiously only use the Post-it, like colored tabs that are, let me see if I can pull one off, that are like colored and then clear. That way I can still, like, I can put it over the word. It doesn't like cover up any words or anything like that. The color kind of starts at the margin. It's a personal thing. I will only ever use these. I get them on Amazon. I just order them every couple of months and they come in a pack like together like this because I use some from both packs. I would like just go and get them from Walmart, but Walmart doesn't carry for some reason Walmart only carries this pack and not this pack by itself. This one you have to get with like a ton of other ones, and I don't like that. So anyways, so I realized when annotating The Night Circus that I really, it helped a lot when I was doing the live show. I was able to, like, there was, you know, Rachel would ask questions about quotes or characters or specific scenes. And so I was able to pull just pull an annotation or pull a tab, look at that, and then kind of find out where I wanted to be. So I really liked that. So then the following month, the Literary Alliance did Vicious as their group book, and we knew that we were going to be doing a live show that month. So I decided I would annotate this one as well. Now, this one does not have nearly as much annotation. I kind of have honed in on my what needs to be annotated, what doesn't, what needs to be tabbed, what doesn't. However, this one is just full of quotes and world building, which is why the blue and the yellow are definitely like more prominent. So this one definitely has fewer. But, again, it helped a lot with the live show. It made it a whole lot more simple, and it really, like, I had a lot of fun doing it. The only thing I didn't like doing it was I was flying on a plane for part of that, and so, like, having to, like, be in a plane seat and then have my tabs, it was an experience. So the last thing I want to talk about is the book that I'm currently reading. Now, by the time you see this, because I'm pre-filming, by the time you see this, like, Lord, please, I'm hoping that this book has been finished. But that is Girls of Storm and Shadow. And the reason why I decided I wanted to annotate this book is because of the note-taking that I am doing in my bullet journal. So this is the first one that I have been doing since doing my, like, kind of descriptive and detailed notes. So I wanted to see how the two would go hand in hand. I am really liking it. I'm feeling that, like, that could be why it's taking me longer to read this, because I'm doing such extensive notes. I want to do a good review. So that could be why. But again, I'm really liking how the annotating is kind of correlating with the note-taking, how everything's working. It's also helping because if I don't have my bullet journal with me, but I have my, like, tabs, there were a couple, especially with the quotes, it's really easy to do. So I was able to kind of, like, flip back a little bit farther because I, for some reason, one day didn't have my bullet journal with me and I was too lazy to go find it. So I just tabbed it. And then the next time when I sat down to read, I went back a few tabs, wrote down the notes, and was able to, like, and that ended up working out. It was great. So, like I said, that's basically my annotating / tabbing in a nutshell. I don't do a lot. I don't do it with every book. I would be completely broke on Post-it notes if I did it with every single book. But there are, like, I kind of just pick and choose. I will always do it if I'm doing a live stream and I'm listening or I'm reading the book physically. Like, some of them are audiobooks, so that I don't end up doing that. And then I try to do it with all rereads. If it's a physical reread, there was a couple of rereads that I did this year on audio that I didn't end up tabbing. The next book that I really want to tab, like, right off the top of my head, is going to be The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, because when I did my reread, I did it on audio, and I want to go back and physically reread it and annotate and tab it, because that's my favorite book of all time. Like, of course I want to. So, anyways, that's all I have for you today. If you are new here and you have not yet subscribed, there's a little red button that you can do so down below the video, and all of the links to my social media will be in the description below if you would like to be my friend on any other platform. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye! What makes this heart beat faster?